Chapter 7, once again, the sermon of Moses continues. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Now this may sound harsh to us thousands of years later, but you have to understand, who are these Canaanites? How wicked are they in order to deserve such punishment? No mercy was to be shown to them, because the cup of their iniquity also was now full. They had reached a point of sheer evil. Now they sacrificed their children to these false gods, these demons. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now let's just hold right there. I have a quick comment on this. Now many people have wondered, why did God choose Israel? Well, first of all, it's not as if the Israelites were so much better or sinless of a people than all the other nations. As a matter of fact, they fall right into idolatry over and over again. They're chosen because of Abraham, initially. As far as the worldly standard goes, they're chosen because of Abraham. Abraham believed God, and it was appointed unto him for righteousness. He was a man of faith, Abraham. So you see how faith was the original foundation hundreds of years before the law of Moses ever came out. Faith was that foundation, faith in God. But Christ was to come through them, was another reason why they were so particularly pointed out to be such a holy people, because in the beginning was Abraham. So that's one reason, but also here thousands of years later, God himself was going to come through them. So all in the middle right there, the Israelites were to be a holy and set apart people, and God would choose to give them special blessings above all the others because of those two factors, mainly. And we read about that here in verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. It may be observed that the development of the Moabites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites, and Edomites, all of them descendants from Terah, Abraham's father, was far more rapid. Their numbers far more rapid, their development far more rapid than that of the chosen line of Israel. Abraham had 12 grandsons through Ishmael, but only the same number of great-grandsons through Isaac and Jacob. Edom, Moab, and Ammon all preceded Israel in the conquest of territory. Kings reigned in Edom hundreds of years before there reigned any king over the children of Israel, we're told. It was only when the time of the promise drew near that the chosen people grew and multiplied in Egypt. The scripture is throughout consistent in representing their development as due to the special providence of God. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments, and keep and do them, that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers, and he will love thee, and bless thee, and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, and thy wine, and thine oil, and increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep, and the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle, And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. If thou shalt say in thine heart, These nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt. Remember, at that time they gained complete and utter victory over Egypt without even having a single soldier, a single army. And the Lord does this throughout with this nation, and he's done it with other nations as well. I'm certain of that. Certain catastrophes just come upon nations in which displease the Lord, but without a single bit of rebellion on their part, they were freed from Egypt. Now, how much more whenever they have 600,000 men to go to war, plus the Lord leading them? How much more is victory guaranteed? I mean, you don't even need an army. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the mighty hand and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out, so shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them, until they that are left, and hide themselves from thee, be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible. I have one real quick story about these hornets. Now, we've all probably been stung by bees and yellow jackets. Man, I've been swarmed by both before. I remember one time I was lifting weights on my parents' back porch, and wasp had built up a nest under the bench, and I was just a teenager, and I lifted it up, and I was pressing and everything, and suddenly, while I was lifting weights, man, just they started to strike my legs, just these wasps over and over again. But it's a lot different with hornets. I was a mover many years ago, and my boss, his name's Daryl, and a great guy and everything. But he was telling me about this story of he was going out to pick up or to take the trash, I believe, to the trash bin at the curb or something like that. And he was walking back up on these steps, and there just so happened to be like a hornet's nest above him that had built up, and they were unaware of it. Well, he said that once that he started to walk up on the steps, it shook the place a little bit, I guess. And he said suddenly it felt like someone shot him with a gun in the back of the neck. He said all he did was just feel a sharp pain and collapsed, just right at the base of the neck. And he said it just collapsed. He said he had no idea, and he looked up, and there were, sure enough, a hornet had hit him. So I can only imagine what a swarm of these would do. Easily kill you. I mean, there'd be no problem with it. So we're being told right here about these hornets. The Canaanites, the Lord is saying, who escaped the sword of the Israelites and hid themselves in holes and caverns of the earth. Those in whom got away, these, the hornets, would find out and sting them to death until they were all destroyed. Thus God can make use of small creatures, even insects, to destroy nations, the most populous and mighty. But then you ask, well, why have they got to go to war at all? Why doesn't God just send a bunch of tornadoes on over there and just wipe out all the people? And he could easily destroy all their idols with a huge whirlwind. And, why not open up the ground or something? Why not do all of these things? Well, this is also a test for Israel. The Lord, he often works through seemingly multitasking, if you will. He's doing several things at once. And with this army going in, they have to prove their faith to him. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Notice, by little and little, not all at once. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. That's the distinction right here. But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver, or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein, for it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.